As residents of the kingdom of God, we recognize that we are his subjects. And so, as his subjects, we should just focus on these things that he has told us to focus on. We need to trust him and let God be God. We need to stay in our lane. But you see, I see all of these Christians all the time arguing over eschatology, which is, for those of you who don't know, which most of you probably do, is the study of end times. And people want to argue, well, is there a pre-trib rapture? Is there a mid-trib rapture? Is there a post-trib rapture? Now, many of you who've been watching my videos know what I believe on these topics, and I think it's fun to study these topics. But that's not where our main efforts should be focused on. Our main efforts should be focused on just loving people and trying to speak truth to people and getting people to become residents of the kingdom of God. All of that other stuff is good. I'm not saying to stay away from prophecy. Prophecy is good. God tells us not to despise prophecy. But when our focus is on strictly prophecy, well, at least for the dispensational mindset, from my dealings with dispensationalists, their focus is on escaping. Escaping has become their God. The return of Christ and the eschatology of Christ's return has become their God. And in many cases, Israel has become their God. When again, the vast majority of all of our efforts should be on searching out Jesus. I don't know about you guys, but I think it's pretty safe to say that all of our lives, let me rephrase that. It's my humble opinion that all of us have many different struggles in our lives. And instead of focusing on the great escape, instead of trying to figure out, what prophetic events are being fulfilled by reading our newspapers or by turning on CNN, I think it would be more beneficial for us to just look in the mirror and judge our own salvation with fear and with trembling. Remembering that if my life is supposed to be a witness for Christ, if my life and my words and my actions and my deeds are supposed to witness to others for Christ, maybe I should do some self-reflection. Maybe you should do some self-reflection and work on those areas where we struggle, instead of worrying about things that is in the Father's authority and not in ours. Again, this isn't to belittle anybody, but the American evangelical church has become so lazy and so spoiled that they think that they're above suffering, that they think that the main point of being in Jesus is escaping everything that's going to come on the unsaved world. And so that's what their focus is on, and that's why they focus on what they focus on. But again, folks, the Bible should interpret the Bible. And in my opinion, none of us should be even thinking for a split second about trying to figure out the end times prophetic events that are going to unfold if our lives are in disorder. If my life or your life is in disorder, does it really matter when Christ comes? Because whenever he comes, whenever that is, if your life or my life is in disorder, there's a good chance we may not be with him in the kingdom of God. There's a good chance we may not spend eternity with him. And so the most important thing should be your relationship with Jesus. And as you're working on your relationship with Jesus, then you can live out a life of biblical integrity.